What often happens when we get hooked, imprisoned by our thoughts, emotions, stories is we over-identify with it. And so we start saying things like, I am sad. Okay, now if we just think about the language, it's so normal. Of course we say that. I am sad. I am angry.
Right.
But I am sad. What are we doing? We are saying, I am. All of me, 100% of me
Yes.
is sad. There's no space for wisdom, values, intention, calm. Like there's so much inside all of us that is beyond that difficult emotion. But when we say I am, we are literally defining ourselves with it.
So it's not using the words I am, it's maybe something else.
You could say, well, if we say I am sad, or even I am being undermined, again, you are creating a prison. I am, this is fact. I am being undermined.
Right.
All of me is being undermined. So I've got no choice but to shut down in the conversation. So one of the ways that we can start defusing is recognizing that when we label our thoughts, emotions, and stories with an I am, then the word.
It's a big statement, yeah.
It's almost like there is a cloud and you have become the cloud, and the
Right.
cloud is the sad cloud.
As opposed to I feel sadness.
Correct. So the power here is exactly that. It's
The
starting
language,
to
how you use the
how
language.
how we language matters. Words matter.
Absolutely.
So what we can start doing is, it's so simple. You can do it in a meeting. You can do it in a conversation with someone else. You can just start noticing your thoughts and stories for what they are, their thoughts and stories. So instead of I am sad, I'm noticing that I'm feeling sad. I'm being undermined. I'm noticing the thought that I'm being undermined. I'm not good enough. I'm noticing that this is my I'm not good enough story.
This is coming up for me, yeah.
This is coming up for me. So when you start noticing your thoughts, emotions, stories for what they are, what you are actually doing in effect is you're moving from being the cloud, I am the sad cloud, into recognizing, and for everyone listening right now, you are not the cloud. You are the sky.
Ooh.
You are not the cloud, you are the sky.
Wow.
And
there is a cloud.
there is a cloud.
In the sky.
You are
Yeah.
the sky.
Wow.
You are human and messy and capacious and beautiful and real and authentic and you enough to have all of your difficult thoughts, emotions, and stories, and to still be the sky, to still be the you.
That's powerful. Susan, I want to acknowledge you for your decades of research and work on what I think is the thing that either holds us back or propels us forward in a big way. And a lot of people are prisoners of their emotion. I feel like there's so many free people in the world who aren't in prison, but we put ourselves in an emotional prison that holds us back from peace, joy, love, intimacy, creating the life we want. And we are sickened internally, which manifests physically or in relational or in whatever by these emotions sometimes. And so I'm so grateful for you for creating tools, strategies for people to upgrade their tools and strategies that weren't working for them, and so they can have a more harmonious life while not blocking emotions, feeling the range of them, but not being a captive and a prisoner to them. So I really acknowledge you for your consistent dedication to this.
Thank you, and thank you for helping us to get these words out.
Of course, of course. I asked you this last time. I think it was like 4 years ago when you were on last time. So I'm going to ask you this question. It's called the 3 truths. So imagine a hypothetical scenario. You live as long as you want to live, but it's your last day on Earth, hypothetically. You accomplish everything you want to accomplish. You live your life the way you want to do it. But for whatever reason, you have to take all of your work with you. So all of your messages, this conversation, your book, it's for whatever reason gone. It's not available anymore. But you get to leave behind 3 lessons to the world. 3 things you know to be true from your life, your experiences, your wisdom. what would you say are those 3 truths for you?
Before the interview continues, if you feel like you're not living your most authentic life, not leaning into your purpose, and not living the life that your future self would be extremely proud of, I've written a new book called The Greatness Mindset, and I think you're gonna love this. Through powerful stories, science-backed strategies, and step-by-step guidance, The Greatness Mindset will help you overcome all the different challenges in your life to design the life of your dreams and then turn it into your reality. Make sure to click the link below in the description to get your copy today. Okay, let's get back to this video.
I would love to capture the 3 truths in things that feel practical for people. I think one of the truths is that for every person listening, doesn't matter if you're 30 or 40 or 50, for every person listening, there is a child inside of you. There is a 5-year-old, and that 5-year-old is tugging at your sleeve. And that 5-year-old is saying, see me, love me, hear me, connect with me. So I think one of the truths is going to be to turn and face your 5-year-old child and ask your 5-year-old what it needs. Does it need spontaneity? Does it need creativity?
Healing.
Yeah, one of the truths, I think, is that when we hold our child inside of us with gentleness, and we also recognize that there is, however old you are now, whether it's 30 or 40 or 50, there's someone 20 years, so I'm 50, so there's a 70-year-old me. There's also a 70-year-old looking back and saying, see me, love me, do what's important. And so I think one of the truths is that we are not alone in the world. Even if we feel alone, we've got a child inside of us, and we've got an older version inside of us.
That's so true.
And that if we walk the journey with both of those people holding our hands, we have an infinite source of grounding and wisdom. So I think that for me is
that's so beautiful.
Is one of the truths.
That's beautiful.
I think another truth is that there is a mythology that being compassionate towards yourself is about being weak and lazy. It's like letting yourself off the hook. It's about lying to yourself. And when we think about a little child in a restaurant running away from its parents and looking back to make sure that the parents are there, it's the knowledge that the child has that his parents are there, that if something goes wrong, that they'll step in. It's that knowledge that actually allows the child to explore the restaurant and to learn and grow. And so I think a second truth is that self-compassion is doing for ourselves what we see with that child and the parents. And what I mean by that is it's when you are kind to yourself that you actually, it's when you have your own back that you are actually more likely to take risks, to learn, to grow, and be vulnerable. And so I think a truth is the truth that self-compassion is the cornerstone to thriving and resilience. And then I think that the third truth is a difficult truth, which is before my father died. I was 5 years old, and my father died 10 years later when I was 15. And when I was little, I would go into my father and my mom's bedroom. And at 5 years old, a lot of kids become aware of their own mortality. So they start to recognize that one day their parents won't be there. And I would find my way into my parents' bed night after night after night after night after night, much to their dismay. Yeah. And I would cry and I would say to my dad, "Daddy, promise me you'll never die."
Oh, man.
And this was 10 years before my dad was diagnosed with cancer. 10 years. And I used to say, "Daddy, promise me you'll never die. Daddy, promise me you'll never die." And my father could have done the forced false positivity, just be grateful for the time we've got together. He could have done that, but he chose not to. He could have buffered me from the truth, but he chose not to. And what he said to me is, "Susie, we all die. It's normal to be scared."
Wow.
And it was what I understood as a truth of the way that he was guiding me through those long, dark nights, is he was saying to me that courage is not an absence of fear. courage is fear walking. Courage is about being able to hold your fear, your change, your concern, your sadness, your whatever it is in one hand, and to move forward with your values in the other. Courage is not the absence of fear. And I think for me it was very powerful, because in a world that tells us to do away with fear, in a world that says, oh, you know, even in a pandemic, look for the silver lining, never mind we're in the shadow of illness and death, there is actually profound resilience by being able to walk into the future holding both your fear and holding your courage, because that is what life is asking of us. Every day life is saying, are you agile? And it's born of a correspondence with your own heart. Not only am I unhappy in my type 1 emotion, but now I've got a type 2 emotion, which is I'm unhappy about my unhappiness. Okay?
Man, that's layered, yeah.
So we start and we do this. Like we see this with stress. People say things like, stress is bad. Now I'm stressed about the fact